The regular meeting of the Keansburg Board of Education will be held in the Bolger Middle School Media Center. Adequate notice of this meeting has been mailed to the Asbury Park Press, filed with the Municipal Clerk of Keansburg, posted on the district website, and posted inside the office of the Keansburg Board of Education, 100 Palmer Place, Keansburg, New Jersey, on February 4th, 2021. Roll call.
Brooke is not here. Mr. Cook?
Here.
Ms. Brazel?
Here.
Mr. Hoff?
Here, thank you.
Ms. Kelleher Moran? Here. Mr. Kitchen?
Here.
Mr. Mankowski?
Here.
Ms. Ferraro?
Here. We stand for pledge. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
She's running late. She'll be here.
What's coming?
No, she'll be logging on.
Oh.
She's gonna be logging on.
She's logging on in 5 minutes. She's just running a little late.
Okay, I just wanna make sure somebody's gonna let her in.
Okay.
There's two exits in case you, well, four doors in case you need to get out in a hurry. You're gonna do
Yep. At this time, we wanted to do a recognition. Mr. Michael Donaldson, in recognition of 11 years distinguished service and dedication.
You're very welcome.
You can speak, turn around and
We
speak.
let your favorite person read it.
Hey, let me see you the flag.
Show the flag on.
Hey,
Look,
show the flag.
Michael, take it out.
I know you, Michael. Well,
10 pictures.
You don't have to listen to them no more.
Very nice.
I really want to say thank you to everybody. It was really a pleasure, really truly a pleasure to serve the kids of Keansburg, and all yous are wonderful. And I really appreciate this very much. I'll miss all of you.
open it to the public for agenda items only. We're going to do the interviews for the school board member. Michelle's going to have you first. Will the other two candidates please go outside so when she answers her question, you don't know what she said?
Unless they turn on.
Yes.
The light.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you said.
No link.
No phones.
No link.
Please don't watch on YouTube.
Can you come to the podium here? Welcome, Michelle.
Thank you, everyone. Hope everyone's having a good evening tonight.
Very good. Okay. I'm going to ask the first question. Can you tell me why you would like to be on the Board of Education?
Sure. I can tell you a little bit about myself. I'll tell a lot about myself. I grew up on a dairy farm in upstate New York on the border of Canada. I lived in Maine. I moved to New Jersey. I consider New Jersey my home. I wasn't born here, but I've been here. This is the 21st year. I fell in love with this area of Keansburg. My husband and I had been house hunting took us over 2 years to find the right town, the right community. And this was what felt closest to me to be home. I've lived here now for 4 years. I'm on Beacon Boulevard. And I've come to a point in my life where I want to be able to give back to the community. I want to be able to serve the community and use what I have learned, my experiences and my skills, to help further this town that I've fallen in love with. And it may sound corny, but that is the absolute truth, and it's from my heart.
I just wanted to ask you what you think your best quality is that you would bring to the board.
From my experiences, I've been in the realm of human resources. Well, I look a lot younger than I am, for over 25 years, I'll tell you that. Right now I'm currently a chief of staff for a global company. The quarters are in Piscataway. The skills that I've learned over the years is how to listen, how to balance, and how to negotiate and work out win-win situations. I've had experience with managing budgets. I've had experiences having to pivot, especially in the HR realm. And all of you, we all know we've had to change and adapt throughout this COVID time. And so I believe that my skills that I could bring to the board would be the ability to listen, the ability to understand balance, and the ability to work through a path forward.
Thank you. I just have a quick question, and thank you for applying, of course. It's nice to see people in the community coming out. What challenges do you see the students like from our grades K through 12 facing right now, and how would you help improve on those challenges?
That's a great question. Right now, and I guess I could speak to what's in front of us, this COVID situation. In speaking with someone today, we had talked about there's a socialization aspect. We've tried to pivot, and we've done everything from remote learning in the classroom, half and half, dividing that out. But it's very important for students to have a semblance of socialization while they're in the learning environment. And for me, I would say that would be a big challenge, and we would want to look at thinking outside the box and thinking creatively and trying to create an ability for the students to be able to socialize and learn at the same time, even if it is in a remote environment.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Mr. Huff?
Thank you, Madam President. Is there something in the water over on Beacon Boulevard? It's the third person, I believe, right?
Oh, is it?
Yes. So being on a board is a team effort. I like to think our team here tries to provide the best education for our children. And our goal limits are very high. Again, I say it all the time. We don't meet the standards, we set them. What are some of your goals that you think our children can improve, or the Board of Education can adapt?
Your question is, what are the goals that the students could achieve?
No, we have
Okay.
we try to set standards here for the Board of Education of Keansburg. What are your goals? If you become a member, what kind of goals do you have for our children? Higher goals, like I try to get every kid a trade school, the military, college, anything. What kind of goals do you see for our kids leaving school?
Understood. What I would do as a member of the school board is look at the current goals that you have set for yourselves as members of the school board. What are the goals of the students as they're moving through their transition and graduating, and look at how we can bridge that together and make it work for the students. So if a student has the goal to join the military, then we, as members of the school board, would look at how can we create and bridge that gap so that student has the opportunity. A lot of students will have a dream or a goal per se to join the military, but they don't know how. They don't know who to reach out to. We could look at creating, I'm a networking connector, so look at connecting different resources that could come in or educate either in a virtual environment to allow that student to have that opportunity to understand what their choices are. And very similarly with the colleges and the universities as well.
Thank you, Madam President.
Kind of piggyback on what Mr. Hoff said, working on the board is working with the team. If we were to ask some of the people that you work with, what are some positive things that they would say about you and the way that you work together with other people?
I would say that people on my team would say that I motivate others and I have an ability to move everyone in the same direction. How many of you have ever gone whitewater rafting? A few of you? When you're in that whitewater rafting raft, you're no matter where you sit, you have to row in a certain way and you have to change during the path, right? Sometimes you're rowing forward, sideways, backwards. But everyone has to work together collaboratively to get down that river. If you don't, you're going to end up in the rocks. What I can say is, one of my team members had said to me, I can tell you that I've been working pretty much 10 months remotely working from home until recently. And one of my team members said, wow, we were all a new team. A lot of us were hired in the month of February 2020. And by March 16th, we were all out of the office. And we didn't have much interaction, or no, it's all a new company for all of us. And what you were able to do is, in an environment that was virtual, remote, and everyone working from home, was make our team feel closer and more engaged than we ever did the whole month that we were in the office. So I can say I can pull people together.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you.
Take care.
Yep.
Hello.
How are you?
How are you?
Very good. How is everyone?
Good.
Good, thank you. All right, we're gonna ask a few questions as we go around. Tell me why you're interested in being on the Board of Education.
So why I'm interested? So I am a lifelong resident of Keansburg. I grew up here, and this school, point blank, helped raise me. I grew up in not to mince words, I grew up in a troubled household, and if it wasn't for the teachers in this school, the educators here, the guidance, I wouldn't be where I am. I wouldn't be living my best life. And I have the job of my dreams. I'm able to help my sister go to school. And, I know that the people who put the people who helped me in place sat right here. So what better way to pay it forward than to now be one of those people to help kids like me?
Thank you. Mr. Kitchen?
What do you think will be your best quality that you'll bring to the board?
My best quality is that I believe that I can work with anybody, regardless of whatever their differences may be. I feel like the most important thing to do at the end of the day is to make the absolute best decision for the kids in this school district. And I am willing to do whatever it takes, and I am willing to work with whoever I have to get that done.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam President. First of all, thank you for coming out. It's great to see the community involvement. What's some of the challenges that you feel are facing the students from K through 12, and how would you help improve on those challenges?
So, right now, given our current global situation, I definitely feel that a challenge is getting the vital education that we provide here to our children when they can't be physically in the school. So I feel that finding innovative ways to teach virtually or to help make sure that the messages getting received are things that we can definitely work on. And given that I have recently graduated, within the last 10 years of this school district, I feel that I can offer a lot of different ways to help do that.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Mr. Huff?
Thank you, Madam President. You're an alumni of KHS within the past couple of years. What would you do to help the kids, starting in K through seniors with the curriculum? Would you add or change anything?
I don't know if I would change anything, but I would definitely work on making sure that kids in this district know all of their options in terms of all of their extracurricular activities, all of the classes that we offer, because one of the issues that I faced when I was a kid is I didn't know all of the options that were available to me. So I think that that's definitely something we could do.
Thank you, Madam President.
Basically working on the board as a team, you mentioned before that you can basically work with anybody, you're willing to work with anybody, but if we were to talk to some of the people that you currently work with, what are some positive things that they could say about the way that you work and the way you interact with them?
I definitely think one of the positive things that my current coworkers at the post office would tell me is that when I'm there, I set the mood. When I'm there, I set the mood, and that mood is overwhelmingly positive. Even at 4 in the morning, I've got upbeat music on, I'm dancing, I'm ready to go. No matter what, I don't bring my personal life, my personal feelings, things that may affect me, into my professional setting, and I strive on that. So for me, when I'm in a professional setting, I always do my best to bring everyone up around me, and I feel that that definitely benefits when you're working together.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
For coming out.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
How's it going?
Thanks for coming.
No problem. If you can't tell, I'm smiling under the mask.
Could you tell me why you're interested in being a Board of Education member?
Yeah, simply put, I'm a Keansburg kid. I grew up here my entire life. I went through the entire school system. Not to mention I have two brothers, Stephen, who graduated in 2017, and Darius, who is in second grade. So, going through the school system myself and then seeing them two go through it and supporting them going through it, I feel closer than ever. And, it's funny coming back to the school after a number of years and seeing how much it's changed and reminiscing of, sitting in this library and thinking about what will my future be when I'm in 8th grade and I'm in Miss Greco's class. And it's funny, full circle, I'm standing right here today. So to answer your question, it's close to my heart.
Thank you.
What do you think your best quality that you will bring to the board?
A great quality of mine is organization, and I'm not saying that I keep my desk neat because that's not the truth at all. Organization and bringing the community together and creating a sense of community and passion and sharing excitement to kind of make things better. I bring that to every job I've ever had as well. And bringing it back to the first question, being a Keansburg kid, my job has afforded me the opportunity to travel the world and see really great places, Dubai, Poland, Germany. And when people ask me where I'm from, I always say Keansburg, and no one knows what that is. But that's something I wear on my sleeve. Bringing it back to your second question, the sense of organizing, that, me wearing Keansburg on my sleeve over the summer, I organized the peaceful protest that was seamless, and we brought hundreds of people to the town, and there wasn't a piece of garbage on the ground, just to spread awareness and peace. Not to mention, I created a foundation called Lenore's Love in my grandmother's namesake to specifically help those people in need in Keansburg. Over the summer during the power outages when we had that bad storm, I helped feed 90 families with the help of Barb's Burritos and Anthony's Pizza. Right now I'm working with the Youth Association, the Football and Cheer Youth Association, to do a fundraiser for them because I know they're struggling badly. So that's, very long-winded answer, but my strength is organization.
Thank you, Madam President. What are some of the challenges that you see with the students from K through 12, and what would be your approach to help improve on those challenges? Because, you know, right now we're dealing with COVID, but there's other things just aside from that.
Sure. I mean, obviously, you talked about the elephant in the room is COVID. You know, I'll mention that, and I know we all know that's a problem. But you know, having a brother who has a learning disability with a fickle schedule, that one day he's on, one day he's off, that really messes with his opportunity to learn. So I think having a little bit more of a hands-on approach as far as the educators go with the children, I think that could really take us a long way. But I think for the board in general, and how it could help our children is being a little bit more innovative in our approaches and amping up a little bit more technology and resources for them to succeed, right? So I'm speaking from example. Going through high school here, I graduated in 2010. There wasn't a lot of opportunity for kids like me. You know, I was into theater and arts and such like that, and that opportunity wasn't there for me. Now I understand as time progressed, those opportunities, the doors opened up a little bit more. But that's just an example of over time, if we're think a little bit more progressively and being a person who might be a little bit younger, not to be ageist to anybody here on the board, but being a little bit younger, I can have a little bit more of a progressive mentality to kind of make something out of nothing and offer more opportunity for the kids that might not feel represented.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam President. As you're an alumni of KHS, what would you add or delete to the current curriculum that we have today to help our kids?
So something that I would add is more, I would call adult focused classrooms, right? So when I graduated high school, I really didn't feel prepared for college as far as the day-to-day activities that my grandmother might have helped me do that I took for granted. And on campus, I wasn't able to do that myself, and that's taxes or credit understanding. I ran my credit to the ground when I was very early in age, like many people I know, because I just didn't have that knowledge. So implementing early access to I'll call it adult knowledge to help kids understand what the real world's about. As far as getting rid of, there's nothing on top of my head that I might get rid of, because I think, you know, really broadening the spectrum and letting children understand math and sciences kind of make people more well-rounded people. You know, I have friends a friend who graduated from Penn State from Keansburg. Now she's a doctorate in engineering. Had she not had, that science or math class, she might not have that opportunity. So I think offering a plethora of the classes that we do here at Keansburg really helps us become more well-rounded. So I'm not sure if there's anything that I would get rid of.
Thank you, Madam President.
So working on the board is a team effort and it requires teamwork. If we were to talk to some of the people that you currently work with, what are some of the positive things that they would say about working with you?
So I believe that I'm a good time, first and foremost. I always try to keep people engaged and happy in a work environment. Not to mention, as I mentioned in the third question, I'm a progressive thinker, right? So I am not a type of person that sees things as they are and thinks, business as usual. I look at something and say, how can we progress? How can we grow? And how can we be better as an organization together? Thirdly, I would say I'm a big team player. So I believe we fail if we're alone. So if in that progressive thinking, we have to think as a unit. And how can we become better as a unit? I know in a lot of organizations, there's a lot of politics involved and for personal growth. But, especially for a situation like this, you have to put ego aside and think of the community and the children first in order to grow as an organization.
Thank you very much, Anthony.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Do I leave this room now?
You can stay.
That's fine.
Can you hear us there, or we can go to teacher's room?
Yeah, maybe the teacher's room, because we can kind of
Yeah, somebody told me that was
Oh, yeah.
what I was saying.
Yeah.
Okay, well, Brooke on?
Yeah, I don't see Brooke.
So,
She's not like in the corner or anything.
house is on.
We still have.
Okay.
You wanna
Just-
take her with you?
We're gonna take her with us, yeah.
How's it decorated? Does it look nice? Actually does look very nice from what you can see.
Oh,
I love the outside of our house. Our outside of our house looks like a lighthouse. It's so cool.
Ah, does it?
Yeah.
That's awesome. I love this house.
Is she there? Okay, executive session, be it resolved that in accordance with the provisions of the Open Public Meetings Act, the Keansburg Board of Ed shall conduct a closed executive session pursuant to the personnel and legal exceptions prescribed by NJSA 10:4-12 for the purpose of discussing
Personnel.
personnel. Personnel? Okay. It is anticipated the length of time of this executive session will be 10 minutes, and the action will be taken in public after the executive session. Do I have a motion? Mr. Kitchen, thank you. Second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Patty. Ms. Clayton.
Put us on executive.
Mr. Cook?
Yes.
Mr. Hoff?
executive session.
I'll make a motion.
Cook, second.
I'll second.
Who made the motion now?
Cook and Minkowski second.
Thank you. Mr. Cook or Kitchen? We said Cook, I'm sorry. Ms. Frizell?
Yes.
Mr. Hoff?
Yes.
Ms. Kelleher Moran?
Yes.
Mr. Kitchen?
Yes.
Ms. Clayton?
Yes.
Mr. Mankowski?
Yes.
Mr. Cook?
Yes.
And Ms. Ferraro?
Yes.
Thank you, we're back in public.
All right. I'd just like to thank the 3 people that came out to be the candidates for the Board of Ed. You are all excellent, and whoever doesn't get selected, I would hope you would stay involved, come to meetings, come to things at the school. We'd like to keep you, because you're all perfect candidates, and it was a tough decision, believe me.
Judy, can I just say something for a
Sure you
second?
can.
I just want to also reiterate, I've been the attorney for this board for 44 years. Some of you weren't even born when I got here. But I have to say, this was an exceptional class of candidates. All 3 of you this board would be well served for any of you to sit here on this board. In fact, probably the best total class of applicants that I've ever seen in my 44 years. I just want to say that 2 of you will be disappointed, but 2 of you, whoever they are, please stay involved, because all 3 of you have a lot to contribute to this community and to the children of this district. So I just wanted to say that. I don't usually say things like that, but I think this crowd is something worth saying.
Thank you, Mr. Bennett. Well said. I'm not
All right. Want to make a motion?
I would like to motion Greg Siciliano to be the board member, and I would just like to state the only reason I'm motioning Greg is he's shown interest in the board over the last several years. He's come to meetings, he's showed a vested interest, and that's why I'm motioning for his appointment.
Anyone second?
I'll second. And I'd like to say thank you all to the candidates for coming out. Definitely very impressive. And thank you for your community involvement. Greg has shown significant involvement over the past couple of years. And again, very blown away by the impressive skills that everybody's brought to the table. Thank you.
Yeah, I meant to say that as well. Seriously, great candidates, and we hope you guys continue to try to work with us in the
Stay
future.
involved. Yep. All right, roll call.
Ms. Clayton?
She with us?
I apologize, I'm just having a little bit of a hard time hearing. Who was
Patty
nominated?
Folklore.
Greg Siciliano?
Okay, no one else nominated?
No.
Okay, yes.
Ms. Frizell?
Yes.
Mr. Hoff?
No.
Ms. Kelleher Moran?
Yes.
Mr. Mankowski?
Yes.
Mr. Cook?
Yes.
Mr. Kitchen?
Yes.
Ms. Ferraro?
Yes.
Congratulations, Mr. Siciliano. You want to come up and I will swear you in? Of course.
You know, I show people on the dictionary.
You can read this. I'm not going to. Put your,
I, Gregory Siciliano, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey, and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same and to the governments established in the United States and this state under the authority of the people, so help me God.
go ahead, keep going. Sorry, I don't write this.
I, Gregory Siciliano, do solemnly swear that I possess the qualifications prescribed by the law for the office of member of the Board of Education, and that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform all the duties of that office according to the best of my ability, so help me God.
Thank you very much. Congratulations. Where's your agenda? I don't know if you got more attorney here, so.
Yeah, I remember you being born.
I was gonna say, I can get away with saying I wasn't born, so. Okay, that's done.
Need a motion for the approval of minutes for December 15, 2020, January 5th, 2021, January 12th, 2021.
Who said that? Thank you.
Second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Ms. Frizell?
Yes.
Mr. Hoff?
Yes.
Ms. Kelleher Moran?
Yes.
Mr. Mankowski?
Yes.
Ms. Clayton?
Yes.
Mr. Cook?
Yes.
Mr. Kitchen?
Yes.
And Ms. Ferrara?
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Superintendent of Schools recommends positive action on the following items. Under personnel, item 1, revision of long-term substitute teachers in the district. Item 2, transfer of non-professional and professional staff revisions for this school year. Under 3, leave of absences, FFCRA and EPSLA. Item 4, leave of absence, FFCRA, EPSLA revisions. Item 5, leave of absence medical. Item 6, leave of absence medical revisions. Item 7, leave of absence FFCRA EPSLA medical revision. Item 8, leave of absence family. Item 9, leave of absence FFCRA EPSLA medical and family revision. Item 10, leave of absence maternity child care revisions. Item 11, home instruction 2020-2021. Item 12, addressing student learning loss competitive grant opportunity. And that is all for, oh, and I'm sorry, under addendum, there's one item under the addendum. For the pool,
Substitute.
Mhm. Motion?
Motion.
I'll motion.
Second?
I'll second.
Mr. Cook? Thank you, that's very helpful.
Jobs now.
I know.
I look in that direction. No questions? Okay. Ms. Frizell?
Yes to everything but personnel number 1. Last, the third and fourth meeting, no.
You're voting no in 3 and 4?
Yes.
Mr. Hoff?
Yes, and thank you.
Ms. Kelleher Moran?
Yes.
Mr. Mankowski?
Yes.
Ms. Clayton?
Yes.
Mr. Cook?
Yes.
Mr. Kitchen?
Yes.
Ms. Ferrara?
Yes, and I abstain on 3, he's named down. Probably don't have to, but I am.
Did you do Sicilian?
Oh, and Mr. Siciliano, I am sorry. I'm not used to this yet.
I abstain.
Thank you. Sorry.
That's okay.
Okay.
Did you do all?
Yeah, I'm done.
And I have one more item under the superintendent's report. It's a policy first reading, policy 5722, school district provided technology device to staff members. It's a first reading, so we don't require a motion or vote right now.
Need a motion to accept the superintendent's report?
No, we don't need anything on
You're
this.
good, 'cause that one doesn't
Oh,
need a
yes.
vote.
I said yes.
If that needed a vote, it doesn't need a vote.
Policy, no.
Well, we used to vote on your whole report.
No,
We
we broke
voted
it
on
up
the whole
now.
report, and then
Yeah.
she added that as the addendum
Yeah.
afterwards, we didn't even vote.
You said, you told me you wanted to go back to the old record.
Yeah, I do. All right.
That's you.
Okay, now it's me.
Now it's you.
Okay, we're gonna pull number 1 because we didn't quite get all the stuff finished for the secretary's report. I can guarantee you that will be done you'll get on the 23rd, you're gonna get October, November, December. What I sent you home are these nice cash reports. It's something you're gonna get every month with the board secretary reports. you'll get a cash report and a board secretary's report that will line up and match up with everything each month. And it's in lieu of getting a treasurer's report, because you don't have a treasurer, but you'll see they'll match up, and you'll see what's going on with your bank accounts and stuff. So you'll have that every month. So it's something I don't think you have gotten in the past, so it's good for you to see what's going on. So, and the audit's also gonna be presented on the 23rd also, so.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, so that's all the things that are gonna get done between now and then. Number 2 is approved transfers, approved bills, approved payrolls, consulting services, contract, school-based youth services program for 2021 revision, January, district HIB report, 2021 out-of-district tuition. That is it. I so request approval. Thank you.
I'll second.
Thank you.
You can count on us.
I appreciate that very much.
You guys know I can do more than this.
Motion man.
Madam President, I just have one quick question, although if you're holding one, I don't know if it's appropriate, but the cash report referenced some checks that appear to be outstanding going back to, I think, 2017, maybe 2016.
Oh, yeah.
I believe that we've had, in the past, been asked to approve the voiding of checks over a certain age.
You did void them in June, at the June meeting, but unfortunately, it hasn't caught up yet on our accounting system. So until I can get it caught up on the accounting system, I still have to carry them. So that's the problem, is getting our accounting system caught up, and that's where the rub is with everything. So we've had a lot of catching up to do. A lot of catching up to do, which the auditor will go into more detail when he presents the audit. No other questions? Mr. Siciliano?
I abstain.
Ms. Frizel?
Yes.
Mr. Hoff?
Yes.
Ms. Kelleher Moran?
Yes.
Mr. Mankowski?
Yes.
Ms. Clayton?
Yes.
Mr. Cook?
Yes.
Mr. Kitchen?
Yes.
Ms. Ferraro?
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Open it to the public.
Tammy Alt, 1A Parkside Place. I actually have two things that I just like to bring up. One, I want to know what the protocol is for virtual learning and teachers just canceling class. Is that a thing? Because it's happened way more than 2-3 times. Are you allowed to just cancel class?
No,
Okay, well, it's happening.
that we need to be made aware of every time it happens.
Okay, well, I'm just,
No, and please
But-
pass the word, like, we should be aware if that's happening. I was made aware of one circumstance that I looked into.
Okay.
But that's the only time I've ever heard of it.
Can we just do a class?
I can't publicly say.
honestly though, I feel like we shouldn't, to tell you the teacher's name, our kids kind of like but they kind of pay the price in the long run. Like when we were up here talking last time, stuff was said to our kids. I just feel like it shouldn't be our responsibility to make sure that the teachers are doing what they're supposed to be doing. It's not, like, my job is my kids. This one teacher did cancel class, like I said, 1, 2, 3 times, and there's a couple other teachers who cancel class. And not all kids talk to their parents. I happen to talk to every single one of mine, so I just feel like there's so many things that
I
just.
will tell you, so administrators do pop in to classes
Mhm.
to check and see, but obviously they can't go into every single class every single day. But if there is an issue, they do speak to them right away, and they have been making sure, usually when they pop in, it's towards the end of the period, because the concern was that they weren't staying on the entire length of the time. So they pop on at the end. But if I do hear of specific teachers, I can ask the administrators to specifically make sure they go into that class.
Right.
So if I had people to watch, we'd be watching.
And I just, like I said, it does come back on our children though, and that's not fair either. Like, little comments said back and forth to the kids after us parents address the issue. It's not the kid's fault. Come to the parent who's, coming to you because of the problem. It is a problem. They're already not learning what they're supposed to be learning, and then to just cancel class,
That's a huge problem.
And my other issue is really with her and the 2021 class. I know there's a lot of issues, and I totally get it. But she is a senior, and there's a whole bunch of kids that are seniors who have lost everything in their senior year. And I know you have a son who's a senior, so I know that you totally get it. But you're on that side, and I'm on this side. So.
But I get both perspectives, which is really nice too.
Right,
So.
and I have her who is with a friend, and they're trying to find a venue for prom, and she's spent hours and hours. Like, they've lost homecoming, they've lost everything, and I understand class of 2020 lost too. But from September to March, they had.
I will say, and I've said this before, and no offense to people who graduated last year, I do think it is worse for this year. You didn't have a junior prom. Now you're struggling to have a senior prom.
Right.
We do know that this, like you said, I have a son who's a senior in high school right now in Keansburg, and I know. And don't think we're not trying. Don't think we're not planning things. It's just, we also would like to surprise sometimes. So there is things in the works that we are planning for the kids. We want to do everything we possibly can.
And they just want to come up with some kind of plan, like even like an outside pep rally, or there is ways to let them have some memories other than what they're getting right now. That goes with, you're allowed with Murphy, you know what I'm saying? So, and I've emailed the principal, and I get the same answer every time, and that's why I'm bringing it to you now. There's something that we can do to help them.
And Lacey, we'd love to hear you guys. Like, I'd love to hear from you guys. Like, give me ideas. Tell me suggestions that you guys have. I always say this, and I know my admin team and teachers get sick of me using this term. Sometimes Mr. Minkowski had the pleasure of hearing it. But I always say, give us some actionable solutions. So there's problems. We know there's problems. The best things that we could hear are your solutions.
Yeah.
Because you're in it. You're living it.
Yeah.
You know what you think would work. So we'd love to hear from you guys. Like, always feel free. Like, you can come to my office, come by, stop by, and talk to me whenever. Like, I'm there, And also, I'm sure you can contact me as well too. But we want to hear, and we want suggestions, and we want to make it memorable for you guys. And I'm very vested in this particularly, and we want to make it very special for you. Like, one of the things that we were looking at right now, like, we have winter sports going on right now. So typically we'd have a big senior day where we have everybody there and representatives from every family. So we're trying to figure out how we're going to have senior day for our winter athletes, because it's difficult.
Yeah.
It's very difficult. So, like, if you have suggestions for that too, like, that'd be really helpful.
And she will. Like, if you need her help, she will help you. She's been in my house. She has a notebook of venues. People are calling back. She's like, oh, I forgot who this one is. So she's trying. It's just, she's working against, it seems like she's working against everyone instead of everybody coming together. And I mean, if you read the emails, you would see it's kind of like the same, you know what I'm saying? So it's just, so if we can, like, we have a little time to prepare to get them something, things. Thank you.
And like I always say too, the weather's getting nicer.
Their class advisors are working their butts off to do
Oh, I know.
everything they can. They have two great.
100%. Mr.
class
Dondero had.
advisors, and they're gonna do everything in their power to make sure.
In their power.
Yeah.
You nailed it. In their power.
Right.
They can only do what they can do.
And it's gonna be what we can do too. There's laws that we have to abide by, and whatever can get done will get done.
But I've said before, as the weather gets nicer, we do have more opportunities opening up to us, which will be helpful too.
Okay.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Anyone else?
I have a second grader who has an IEP. I want to know.
Name, please.
Oh, I'm sorry. My name's Elisa Majidi. I have a second grader who has an IEP. What is the protocol with this online learning with an IEP? My son is all over the place. you know, I do work, so he has to go to daycare, and at the daycare center, the teachers are like, he's not focused, he's all, his teachers are trying. They try to redirect him as much as possible. But what are the protocols for the online students with an IEP?
The IEP does still have to be followed for virtual learning. There has to be a special education teacher there. Any modifications that are in place have to be followed. The IEP is in effect for remote learning as well as in-person learning.
Okay.
If it's not, then you should contact the case manager and
Okay.
talk to them. Because by law, that same document is for remote as for in-person. If there was any changes for the modifications that would be offered on remote, they would have had to do an addendum to the IEP to say that.
Okay, because the problem is like, they're on a Zoom. Just say like there's 7, 8 kids in a class. When my son is, when he's in class, sometimes his one teacher has to work individual with him. She can't do that on a Zoom. She has to constantly redirect my son. He is on medication. We went through medication, but it's focused 10 minutes, and then we're over here. And I mean, this is my question. So, and it's, when it comes to online, they're online, they're not online, they're online, they're on. But the thing is, it's like he gets change. It's hard for him to adjust to change with an IEP. So this is my question. What is the protocol for the IEP? Like you said, it just follows through. So now I have to contact, I guess, the case manager.
Yes. So if you think that he requires different needs remotely than he does in person, then you would contact the case manager to have a discussion about that.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Anyone else?
Kenny, I couldn't hear you.
He was saying she never stated her address.
Okay.
Judy, I have something. I just want to piggyback on something that Mr. Mankowski said a month or two ago about the hot meals, the hot lunches coming. From what I understand, all of our schools are not getting them. It's just Bulger in the high school. And our Caruso kids are going home, from what I understand, with frozen meals and frozen drinks in the afternoon. And the kids at Bulger actually have a petition going around to try to change the lunches or the food company, service company. What can we do to make sure all of our kids, every school, is getting a hot meal? And is there something else, an alternative that we can give these kids instead of frozen meals? We need to, and frozen drinks. We need to do, we're better than, I'm sorry, but we're better than this. We should not be giving our kids, especially our little ones who don't have parents to go home to sometimes. They don't know how to work a microwave. They don't know how to work a stove.
Not all people have microwaves either.
And they're going home with a frozen meal and a frozen drink that they can't even drink right away.
How come they do and not the other two schools?
Well, they instituted, as of February 1st, they were sending home hot meals every day. Then we had an oven issue here at this school, and we have to get it repaired. So as soon as that's repaired, the hot meals will be going out.
That letter says, the
All
letter
to
that
the
is
high
on the
school.
Keansburg site says Bulger and
And high
Keansburg
school.
High School only, February 1st. It does
Okay.
not include all of our schools.
I didn't know that. I'll check on that for you.
Yeah.
And then we had said, so the issue with Caruso is just for until February 17th.
Right, but our kids are gonna go home from now to February 17th with frozen drinks and frozen meals. Is there something else that they can
Well, they're virtual.
bring
until
in
then.
to give our kids instead of a frozen drink that they can go home with and they can't even drink
So
it
ask
yet?
them about Caruso. Cindy, you'll touch base with them about
Yeah.
Caruso. I did look at the flyer after you had said that, and it clearly states middle school and high school. It
Yeah,
does not
we
say
shouldn't be
Caruso.
picking and
Okay,
choosing on
I'll
what
check
school
for it.
gets,
I'll
what
check
school
for it and let
doesn't.
you know.
Okay.
If I may just add to that, it seems the food has come up a couple of times. I've discussed with the prior business administrator, inviting some of those individuals from the Chizo's food group to our meeting, maybe so that they could discuss that. But I think in translation, with the prior administrator leaving and us changing, and COVID, of course, I think maybe we should reach back out to them and see if they're going to come and listen to see some of the things that we have to say,
Yeah.
especially things like this, important topics.
Well, what we did was, after I heard Mr. Mankowski and some complaints and stuff we had with the students here at Boulder, starting that petition and everything, we said, let's meet with the students who had started the petition, and they met with, because I was at both meetings, they met with students at the high school, and they had meals. They had breakfast, lunch for both the high school students and the middle school students. And they got ideas from them. And one of the things that came out of it was sending hot food home for the students leaving here, not the prepackaged stuff that you have to put in a microwave, etc., but stuff leaving here hot so that they could eat it hot on the way home instead of going home and putting it in the microwave. So that came out of that. And they gave them some ideas of salads and some other things that the students were looking for. Different salad mixes and different things they wanted. So they got ideas. Plus, also, they have a new food service director here. The previous one retired, and they have a new one here. So that's an improvement I think you'll see in short order, too. She started at the beginning of this month. So,
This is several years we've had issues.
I think it's a good idea to have a representative
but I
here
can get
just to
them,
speak.
I can get them to
Yeah, I think we
come
need to
here,
do
yeah.
that.
This is the last year of that contract, isn't it?
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
it is.
And that's going out, yes.
I know we've got a certain
There are
point.
more.
They're both going out.
It's
for
been a
bid.
very
Okay.
long time with lots of complaints. I've seen pictures of students, the food. Osha's has been a problem for some time with the food, not just the
We'll have them come.
frozen food for COVID.
And
Goes
they've
back
been here,
several
they've been
years
here
now.
before in front of us, and still nothing.
Anyone else?
I do, Madam President, thank you. I think the snow removal team did an outstanding job. A couple inches of snow we got, they were out there for a couple hours. I think, again, with the equipment we have, and, we only have small schools, but you see the snow stacks, and they're pretty big. And again, our kids are able to get up and down the streets. The borough's gonna be working tomorrow to get the sidewalks in and around the area shoveled. With the sports are going, again, with what we have going on, canceling this, canceling that with the other schools, we're still pulling together and giving our kids an opportunity to play a sport, which is actually pretty cool. Unfortunately, there's gonna be no St. Patrick's Day parade in the borough of Keansburg. Due to the restrictions that the governor has put on us, we feel that's not gonna be able to happen this year. So one of the biggest things was having the KEA with the Board of Ed march and everything else, but no invitation is gonna be extended this year. Everyone here, happy Valentine's Day to everyone. If I don't see you all and give you roses or kisses, you'll be in my thoughts. Cindy, I only got to know you for a second, but the job you brought here was outstanding. I'm very happy that you're moving on to bigger and better things. You will be missed. We wish we can keep you. And then, Kathleen, as always, please thank your team. From the person who does put the lunch, it still matters that a student gets a lunch, to the janitor, to the teachers that are teaching. Thank them for coming to work. The top of the hour news before I got here, there's people arguing about going to school. We have some issues. I think they can come here and learn things, how we are leading the way that our kids are getting education, whether it be here or remote. We didn't have this problem 5 years ago, but we have the problem now, and I think we're dealing with it very well. So again, please thank your team from the bottom of my heart that they're doing the best job we can with the cards that we have. Thank you, Madam President.
I would like to thank the superintendent and all the staff of the schools for keeping us going throughout all this. I'd also like to thank Mr. Donaldson again for all his years of service to the Board of Education. And, we're lucky to have him on town council. Congratulations to Greg on your appointment, and thank you all for coming.
Hi. I would just like to say thank you to everyone here, to all the board members, to the superintendent, for instilling your trust in me and your vote of confidence. And I look forward to working with every single one of you on behalf of the students of this town. And I can't wait to get to work. Thank you.
Welcome aboard.
I don't know if many people still read the Asbury Park Press, but they did have an article about schools that have been opened, and we kind of got left out of that article. And Keansburg School District was one of the first school districts that said, we're going back no matter what. So you hear a lot of bad things about Keansburg, but this was great. We took the chance because we believed in our kids, we believed in our staff, we believed in our community to pull together. And you're seeing statistics. People are saying kids belong in school. It's a safe haven. They're probably cleaner than most places that we've all been in. So when people are gathering and going to restaurants and different things, think about our children. You know, you have to believe, you have to try, you have to see. And if you look at the cases all around and how many cases we've had in this community or in our district, not so much. We've been very lucky and blessed that, you know, we're healthy and we're staying strong. So I can't thank everybody enough. The board, we all pulled together. We made sure we had the PPE supplies. We made sure that we're following all the rules and regulations. People didn't believe, right? They're saying you're crazy and this and that, but we proved them wrong. And that's what we like to do because we're strong. So I can't thank everybody enough for just pulling together, and hopefully we'll get through this next wave and everybody being safe.
President, just one more thing. On January 26th, we had a meeting with the Remote Learning Committee, which included the administration. I was involved, a couple of parents, as well as some teachers. We realize, again, everybody's put a tremendous amount of effort into here, and there's certainly things that need to change. We hear, and I say need to change, but we're all learning as we go along. So one of the things that came out of that, we certainly heard what some of the problems or the issues are. And as Ms. O'Hara alluded to before, I think the next step really is to make sure that we figure out what things we can take action on, what are the actionable items that we can do, so we can continue to improve, because that's really what we're going to do. But we're moving along. Committees was formed, and certainly looking to have future meetings.
So I would just like to thank, as we lovingly call him, Uncle Michael, for his years of service here. It was great to get to work with you. I'm glad that I got in the position when I did, so I did have time to be in this position with you on the Board of Education, and thank you for your service. It was wonderful to have to work with you. Thank you very much. And then I wanted to thank the two candidates sitting in the audience still. You were amazing. It's so great to see people that want to be involved. I live in Keansburg also, I'm sure many people know. I was raised here, I live here, I love it, as you had said. And it's just great to see people involved, and we'd love to see you continue to be involved. Thank you. And Mr. Siciliano, welcome, and I look forward to working with you also.
Likewise, thank you.
Thank you all for coming. Hope to see you at the February 23rd meeting. All right. We need a motion to adjourn.
Motion.